Good morning, John here at Blue Moon Cycle. I want to talk about a motorcycle that I bought from a good friend, Perry Bushong, and unfortunately Perry died just the other day, and this is the last bike I got from him. He did the restoration and the work on it, and just kind of his little memory or tribute to Perry, I'd like to talk about one of his bikes. It's a BMW R12. 1936. It's been restored by Perry in Fort Worth, Texas. Perry's Sidecars and Motorcycles. He was a BMW dealer back when we were a dealer in the 90s. I think he got in it a little sooner and got out a little sooner, but we were both BMW dealers, and we used to meet each other at the BMW dealer meetings and various rallies and stuff, and we both shared an interest in the vintage bikes. And Perry grew up in Germany. He was American, but I think he grew up on military bases over there, so he had an early introduction to these kind of bikes. And this is the Steuer Sidecar. It's German. Has this beautiful engine turning on the aluminum body. Kind of an Art Deco style sidecar. Comes to a real pointy knife edge on the front, and just a beautiful combination. The bike and the sidecar, I think, are matched stylistically, and they're both kind of the epitome of Art Deco Germany. 1936 was, right before the war years. And this was towards the end of the civilian production, because shortly after this all the BMW motorcycles were made for the military. And this is a civilian model. It has what they call the Art Deco fenders, which is the fully faired front fender. Beautiful pressed steel frame, the famous BMW pinstriping. This is the side valve 750cc motor. This is a dual carburetor version. It does have the old original carbs. Has the starter. Of course, no electric start in those days. Has the nice flip cap. Perry painted the blue panel on top of the tank. Some BMWs did have a blue panel. We argued back and forth if R12 ever did, and Perry seemed to think they did, but I hadn't seen another one. He also did the rims blue in the middle, white pinstripe, and it just sets it off. It really kind of pops that way with the blue highlights. And of course, that's the Duralastic seat. It's a sprung seat. BMW speedometer. It's a great bike. And Perry didn't want to let this one go. I had to work on him a little bit to get it. I paid up for it, but I didn't really buy it to sell. I bought it just because I thought it was great. And of course, I had no idea we would lose Perry so soon, but at least I have a nice example of his work. It's a 4-speed shifter, shifts through a gate, and they're very easy to shift because you have a hand clutch on the left, a hand shifter, and then a hand brake on the right. And this way you don't have the foot clutch. That's what gives most people the most trouble when they're trying to drive a tank shift motorcycle, is the foot clutch. But this having a traditional, or let's say more modern style hand clutch, you don't have to worry about keeping your foot on the clutch when you come to a stop. Of course, with a sidecar, it's not as much of an issue, but with a foot clutch, it's hard to come to a stop, hold the clutch down, and of course, you can't put your left foot down when you do that, so that becomes a little precarious. BMW had it worked out, I think, a better system. The R12 was one of the first motorcycles to have a telescopic fork, and there's a little argument because Nimbus and BMW came out the same year with the telescopic. but Nimbus apparently introduced theirs a few months earlier, but BMW takes a lot of credit for being the first telescopic fork. Pressed steel frame, shaft drive, and this cool little picnic basket on the back. So that is the BMW R12, 1936. Kind of a tribute to Perry. Good friend and a really nice guy.